We're about to bring you game 6 of a potential 7 games between Jason Ubeika and Shan Abbasi. This is going to be exciting because Shan Abbasi is facing elimination. He was actually 1-3, so he won game 5. This is the consolation bracket of the Premier Division, CSW, that we are covering. They've shaken the bag and they're about to begin. And Jason is going second. All right. So Sean is starting here. It's good to know. With a blank too. I think he's gonna play Bryn pretty quickly. Yeah, that looks quite good. Oh wow, Sean instead has exchanged. That's such an interesting move. He's exchanged a B, an R, and an N. He doesn't want to put any tiles on the board. He wants to maximize his chance at playing a bingo. Oh, that's cool, Jalapik one. Looking forward to watching that. Unfortunately, I can't attend the tournament. But, yeah, okay. Just some adjustments being made. And I'm also wondering... Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, we might not be getting Josh just yet. So we might only have one Josh. We did see third Josh. Is he third Josh, first Josh, or second Josh? In the frame just a second ago. Readjusting the rack cam. But Chess Bunzo gifting a sub to New Nits. Thank you, Chess Bunzo. Appreciate it. So, exchange E. Yeah, that's an interesting idea as well. Yeah, Eel is one of those plays that it kind of looks ugly to do something like that. But I think what Jason was doing is he was keeping his M for scoring, and I think he's maybe going to be able to bingo next turn actually. But Sean going ahead playing, what is he going for here? Just something like Lintier, Mintier. Oh man, we're gonna have to figure out what the blank is here. Yeah, it could be a number of things. It could be an L. It could be an M. It might also be something else that I'm not thinking of. But what I do notice is that the blank is turned upside down. So we have the upside down flag, which, it was fixed. Man, I thought that was like maybe a political statement or something. But yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what that blank is. That's the first priority, because it definitely changes the game a little bit. But I think Thermi is bingo available here, for Jason. So we'll see if he finds that, and work on getting the better Josh back into the call. But yeah, other than Thermi, I think something like Theme can be played. Yeah, the better Josh. He's known as the better Josh. And you saw all the emotes earlier. That's him. We did get to see his face a little bit for a while, but I think we're going to be working on that and getting him back in. Erathem is also a word, apparently. Yeah. Okay, so let's try again with Josh. Oh, that's not how I do it. I really cannot multitask. Yeah, Erathem is also a word. Hello? No! He's still muted. No. Why?
Now, is it better now?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Before I couldn't hear anyone. Now I can hear you, and hopefully you can hear me.
Yay! We're not alone. The Joshes have come back to
Hi, everyone.
dominate over the planet. Okay,
Good to
introduce
be here.
yourself. I've been
Josh.
talking too much.
I'm a tournament Scrabble player. Been playing for maybe 12 years or something, and I'm happy to be here. And sorry about the technical difficulties. everyone.
Don't worry. All the technical difficulties are my fault personally, and everybody
Okay.
should get angry at me for them because that's how accountability works, right, Josh?
That makes sense. Yes, I would agree with that.
So, have you been able to watch the game a little bit, or
Uh,
were you just
not not that much, but it looks like Sean just bingoed, Jason's sitting on a bingo, so we got ourselves a game, it seems, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, hopefully Jason spots one of the two bingos on his rack. But barring that, I was thinking maybe something like them or theme could be played, making lit or eh and re, or something like theme and whatever that blank is. It should be able to be hooked with meat
Yeah, do we
meat.
know what the blank is?
Yeah, I was wondering if we could figure that out. But yeah, I saw it could be an L for Lintier, an M for
Mintier. Okay, so it's
okay, so
probably
it's an M.
Mintier then. It was an
Yeah.
M.
All right. Fantastic. So now we know it was an M. So Jason plays Therm. That's a
Okay,
good
Therm
play.
goes down.
Now Josh is still going to check. We have three Joshes, guys. Three Joshes.
Too many Joshes.
We started off with two Jasons. We had Jason Ubeika facing off against Jason Keller. And then we had Matthew Tunnicliffe being analyzed by Matthew O'Connor. And now we're going to confuse you with the Josh Horde. That is it. That is what's happening.
Too
Uh,
many Joshes.
Not enough. Never enough.
Not enough
I can
Joshes.
never get enough of this Josh, at least. As
Aw, thank you.
Sean puts down I. Um,
I
so
E Y E.
the score updated, it's going to be 42 to 92, I believe.
Wow, is there
Um,
really no place for the Q there?
yeah, no, I
That's
didn't
tough.
see one. He had
I
all
is
E's and
tough.
O's.
Yeah, I guess. How much is I? 712.
Oh
It's
my
like
god.
21 something.
Don't quote me out of
Um,
context, Josh Greenway 99. That was not implying anything. There's also David and David, yes. David Eldar commenting. See, there's just too many of these biblical names, dude. Like, it's enough. It's enough already. It's 2022. Like, what's going on? Nerd Alert says we need to lose a Josh. Well, we know which one we're gonna lose, right? Anyways, Jason is gonna re-overlap I with Oi.
OIE, that looks strongest. Yep.
Can
Seeing
I just mention something really cool? You see those E's? They're in a diamond shape. We got an E diamond.
oh,
So in
that's
chess you have
notable.
pawn diamonds. You got that sort of thing. Well, pawn cubes. This is an E diamond, and as well as that, there are two Y's within the diamond, sort of. So we like to see it. We like all the shapes and sizes. Scrabble comes in all shapes and sizes. But yeah, Oye looks like a really strong play. Webb as well. Um, they
And
both just keep scoring through their bad tiles. And Jason again, he's sitting on a couple of bingos here, and they are going to score a lot of points if he can find one of the 7-letter words here.
yeah, the I and Webb, yeah, holding the Q are interesting. I guess those are the correct plays but it's frustrating because you want to get rid of that Q, but really on this board, there's really no place for that. Even when you do draw the I, it's really not clear where this is going down and can be quite hobbling if it stays on your rack long term.
Yeah, absolutely. The Q, when you draw it, you really just want to look for those spots where you can play QI, QAT, any of the short words containing a Q. But sometimes you just have no place to play it. And gametes. Oh wow.
Oh, interesting placement for gametes. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, so if Jason had shifted that play over 2 squares, it would have hit both double word scores and scored a whopping, I think, maybe 18 more points or something like that. But he saw the overlap that way, and yeah, that itself scores 86 points. So nothing to sneeze at.
so yes, he saw the seven or one of the sevens. So at least there's that. Gets to play it, put it down.
Mhm.
Sean quickly playing a void. That looks fairly strong. I don't think there's a great play with the Q. I guess you maybe
Yeah,
could play Kadi, making GI. I mean, keeping a V
maybe.
also isn't great. So I think this looks quite all right.
Yeah, avoid looks pretty strong. Again, though, like Sean has had this cue ever since he played his bingo. He's drawn the cue. He still hasn't been able to play it. It just goes to show how bad the tile is. Void scores a nice 39 points, but that cue isn't going anywhere. So yeah, at some point Sean's going to want to play it. Maybe he'll draw a U. There haven't been any U's played, and there haven't been any U's seen actually thus far in the game. So yeah, it's definitely if you're keeping the queue when there are still all 4 U's to come, there's a high likelihood you might draw one. But so far, neither player has drawn a U, so that might come into play later when certain letters are not getting picked. They often come at an inopportune time later in the game, so we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, so Caddy and GI was available um, for 431 on that play, and that could have been uh, potentially the right play, but avoid seems very strong as well.
64-bit Scrabble calling out Didakai, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. For Jason, that's a strong play. Um, and also it doesn't open up another triple lane like Dak or Dickwood, making BED.
Mm.
So we'll see what comes down.
Yeah, well,
Both of
Dak
them
would
would
be
score
bad.
quite a lot. Oh
Dak
wait,
would be
sorry,
pretty
not
bad,
Dak.
right?
That
Yeah,
makes a phony. Yes, that would be pretty
yeah.
bad. Well, it would be pretty good if you could get away with it.
Yeah, SA. I'm sure that's happened before. People have gotten away with SA. Sometimes you just blank and you just miss that you're creating a phony 2-letter word when you've played so much Scrabble over the years. Sometimes you just have a brain fart. So that we could see something like that in any game that's being played in any at any level. So we see Kai. Okay, Kai is a nice defensive play. The scores are close, but Jason has that slight lead. He's a little bit ahead. So yeah, Fakir is going to come down really quickly. A very very nice find by Shan to finally get rid of that queue and score a ton of points. That one scores 61. So yeah, good on Sean, and it's back to Jason, who now has uh, has a little bit of an issue here because he made the play of Kai, hoping that Sean wasn't going to be able to score anywhere, but now he has these weird letters and might not be able to score much.
Yeah, it's not clear where his next play will be, at least to me. Um, Ideally, you'd want to get rid of an A and a D, and probably the G too aren't great tiles, but where you can put them is not so clear to me, actually.
Yeah,
Do you see
I,
anything that stands out?
I really don't. I really don't. Yeah, this might take a while to come up with the play. We might see something like Dig making bed and SI. That seems okay. It does retain 2 A's at the same time, but that's not the worst thing.
All right,
I
let's
don't know.
see. I think I missed some stuff in chat. Jalopik one, I think, noting and following the Castellano studying method since Hood River. Thank you. Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate that. great to see people trying new stuff. Binac saying, "Why does Josh have a Dodgers jersey?" I'm not sure which one he's referring to. He should probably
Yeah,
use
which
last
Josh?
names.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to ignore that until that's specified. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, keep them coming. 64-bit Scrabble noting that when Gametes played, Meagerist was available through RE. It's not the best play, as they pointed out, but it is notable at least. Um,
Ooh. And yeah, we have a good question. And did we notice? Yeah, I think Jason almost played SA there, just what we were talking about. But he caught himself in time. But yeah,
okay,
Gid or
Gid
Dig in
goes
that spot
down.
seems pretty good. But the
Looks
question for you,
reasonable.
Josh, your training strategy.
Oh, the training strategy for words.
What's going
Well,
on with that?
if I can try and be concise about it, it's basically just you make one huge quiz, like for example, a huge quiz of all of the bingos or all of the 3 to 6s, and you go through it chunk by chunk, and at each chunk, you review the words that you missed for that chunk. Then you keep going until the quiz is over, and then you quiz from all those missed words. So it's kind of like an extreme version of card boxing where if you get the word right, you won't see it again for a long, long time. Sort of assumes that if you got something right, I don't want to see it like in a while. So there's trade offs, but I like it a lot because you get more coverage over the dictionary as opposed to drilling words that might already know pretty well.
Hmm. Yeah, and so card boxing, that is a term used to describe a way that people study words on a program, usually Ziziva, where it'll basically feed you words one by one that you were supposed to anagram, and if you get them right, it'll put them like back in on the waiting list, pretty much. And if you get them wrong, they're gonna bring the word back pretty soon after you get it wrong, so that you can solidify the mistake that you made. So that's a way that we have for retaining words and studying words over time, over a long period of time. But yeah, Josh, your studying regimen is pretty extreme, if I might say so myself.
Yep, it's definitely different than what a lot of other people do. And Shan just dropping a J here. That looks pretty strong. Keeping some good consonants, but um, unless he needed to draw a vowel there to try and get out of it. So he'll be continuing to struggle trying to play through what's on the board, at least for the next turn.
Yeah, we see the heavy tiles going down: the J, the K, the Q, the Z. Um, Only one left is the X. So there might not be that many surprises in store as a result, because sometimes you'll get into these boards. As we see, this board is pretty closed. There's not a lot to do. You'll get into these situations where the board is closed, the score is close, and then someone's going to pull pretty far ahead with a huge X play or a huge Z play. Did I say Z? I hope I didn't say Z. If I said Z, I should be banned. But I think I said Z. Please don't clip that. But yeah, sometimes you'll see the situations like that where it's the heavy tiles that decide the flow of the game. With the X remaining, that's still a possibility. But yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to sort through this board, Josh.
Yeah. So Sean just played, I think is it pronounced Jai, Jai.
Mhm.
So that could his range might be, and he played it fairly quickly. So he might be keeping just like a lot of like Drek consonants, sort of, or it might be a really good rack from Ubeika's perspective. So if I were him, I would be okay. It looks like he's exchanged, but I would definitely be cautious about opening the board after
Mhm.
a play like Jai.
People are very happy to see the play of pissed go down here. A word you see extremely rarely, containing two S's. Very nice find by Sean. Like, those all consonant words are really hard to spot.
Yep.
The version with one S is more common than the version with two S's, And yeah, I don't know. That could be the first time Sean's ever played that word. I don't know if I've even ever played pissed with two S's.
That was great
Um,
by Sean for
yeah.
calling me out, saying like, "Oh, he'll struggle with all these consonants." Nope, he finds what I'm fairly sure must be the best play in that position, keeping even a good leave RNG, getting how many 27, 35 points I think for that play. It's a very strong play by Sean there. Just in time too, is Jason has just drawn an S, which now doesn't have a fantastic place to go on this board.
Yeah. Um, just give me 1 second. I'll be right back, Josh. Sorry.
So now Jason Ubeika's down about 40-ish points. What he wants to do is sort of clean up his rack and maybe open something up. So Utu is coming down here, doing a
Hmm.
great job of cleaning up the rack, but what he does with these great tiles left, like where they go, is not as clear. But I mean, this was a difficult play. I don't know if there was anything down making ZE or ZO that would have been great. But
Yeah, and now Scorned is probably not going to play for
yeah, draws the
Jason.
bingo. No place to put it.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if Sean opens anything up here because yeah, there's really not much left to do, and Sean has the lead. So he might play something. He's drawn the X. There isn't really anywhere to put it. Um, I would note that there is a possibility of making like a play with agametes, right? Um,
Agametes. Yeah, that's possible.
and that might
WTF in chat
yeah.
noting earlier you could also extend it to Ugametes. But you were saying?
Yeah, so I'm just on this board. It just seems like we might end the game like if nobody opens the board. I'm assuming Jason eventually is going to try and open the board, but after a few plays, it's just running out of space or running out of spots to play. So I'm just starting to look for like where you can play anything at this point.
If I mean
Um,
if I were Sean, I'd think really really hard about maybe just playing something like Tux to
mhm.
block what seems to be well. Oh no, okay, one blank is gone. You could bingo through the Z. Um, that's possible, but the T there, coming down from the T seems like a very likely spot, especially after a play like Utu. I would be pretty concerned about um, bingos from that being like the disaster scenario, depending on what
Yeah,
your other
maybe.
plays are.
Yeah. I would say that this is a good position to determine whether or not Sean Abbasi is a human being or a machine, because he has the play using those letters G I N U R. He has the play of Turing from the T, which isn't I don't think is a word, but yeah, he's gonna play tuning.
Okay,
So I think
tuning.
this
I
means
like
that
that
he's a
play.
human being, right? If he had played Turing, he might have been a computer. Is that how that works?
Would he have passed or failed?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Chat. I
But
think
I
chat
really
can
like
maybe
what this
figure
play
it out.
does.
Yeah,
It
it
blocks
makes a lot of
what's
sense.
not the I wouldn't say the last bingo line, but a very
Yeah,
likely
the
one,
most threatening.
and
The most
especially
threatening. Yeah.
after most threatening, especially after just fishing off two U's. Um, and here's Jason trying to open things up.
Nice. This is a great play.
I think this is a fantastic play. Um, the C makes it difficult to just quickly parallel. So we'll see what Sean does to deal with that spot, if anything.
Right. Yeah, because this is the sort of play where it's if Sean was ahead by 80 or 90 points, he could just maybe afford to either leave the spot alone or make a play elsewhere and be like, okay, sure, you can open the board. But um, at this point, the score is still relatively close, so both players need to keep scoring. So yeah, I like this idea a void to try and just play off the V, play off the excess O, and maybe next turn he could play something like Hora and avoid, um, and just keep the scoring pressure on because it's just very difficult to block the core what core has set up. A word starting in O, a word starting in C. Those are now available for Jason. Although
Yeah,
Sean does
I don't
have the
know
H.
if yeah, I don't know if there was something he had the H last turn, so I didn't see anything great that made CH that blocked. I mean, you can play like HO, making CH and OO, but that's not you just play atop of HO. That's not a great block. Really, if you're going to do something there, you'd want to completely make it much harder than that. And I didn't see anything immediately. Um,
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
parallel like pho
yeah. At
that just
this
sort of
point,
replaces the C with the P. Same problem.
yeah, same problem, but
I
I
guess blocks
actually
the
like.
double double.
Yeah, I like the idea of maybe playing Fa next turn. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see because the scores are again like really close. Like if Jason's able to score decently, like he might draw into a 6 letter word ending in O. He might draw into a 6 letter word on the top right triple, and that would tie the game up. And he's not gonna play Naiade, which is good because that is a phony, right?
Yeah,
If he were to have
that's no
played
good.
Naiade and
Yeah.
Ze, I think that would have come off the board. So idea is
Um,
good,
yeah.
scores well,
In
and
chat, 64-bit noting that as Sedane, however you pronounce that, to the triple
mhm,
making ZE
mhm.
as a suggestion, and I actually really like that. I think the score is close enough where you can blow up the rack like that and make
Maybe,
some
yeah,
openings. Put the S on the triple line, put the D out there, um, maybe
yeah.
draw
That
the
weird
next
word,
blank.
is that the only word that starts SD?
Um, that and its other forms. I can't think of
Uh,
anything else. It has several other forms.
yeah, yeah, that and its other forms. And that would that would actually blow the board open. It would have brought Jason ahead by 1 point. Um, but I think retaining the S, scoring some points here with idea, I think that's a very good option. Just keeping his options open for later. Although he didn't draw a single vowel, so that's going to be a problem.
So if I were Sean, I'd still be thinking about how I could at least make the C or O harder to use if I can't block it completely. I still kind of like pho, at least to block the double double. I don't know if it's best. It looks like he'll play poo, which is a decent score. So this might be okay too.
Yeah, I mean, again, given how close the scores are, it's
And yeah, that's a good
really
point.
it's really hard to commit to trying to block things when Jason doesn't have to play a bingo to get back into the game. But it's definitely always a consideration when you're ahead, when you're on turn, when you have that tempo advantage. What can I block? What can I make more difficult for my opponent?
And that's
Um,
a yeah. I wasn't paying close enough attention to the score as I should have maybe. For a score that close, yeah, my scoring here might be it makes it slightly better than it normally would be. If you're up by a lot, you consider blocking. But if it stays open, maybe this is well. I was going to say Sean has Oxbow, but that makes um, an even easier line to use for sevens. So we'll see. But Jason has to play first.
hmm And we see the unseen letters. There's an extra O there, but everything else is accurate. This is what Jason sees from his perspective, but honestly, he's probably not thinking about what letters are to come. He's probably thinking about his clock. He's dipped under the 2 minute mark, and yeah, Sean has used less than 10 minutes of his time in typical Sean fashion. So yeah, this is going to be very difficult for Jason because not only does he have to play somewhat accurately, to make a comeback, he also has to not go overtime, because every minute he goes overtime, he's going to lose 10 points. So he is thinking of playing maybe jail or some overlapping play with jail. He could score decently with ALS in that position. So that seems like a decent option. Is that 25 points? No, it's a lot more than that, right? 4, 10, 12, 14, 17, 19, 27, 33 points. And so that'll bring him almost up to 354, 344 to be precise. And Shan is definitely going to recount that play, because when you make plays that score 33 points with 3 1-point tiles, your mind is sort of just like, really? Is that even possible? But because of all the overlaps, because of all the letters that you're making words of, jail, koa, and avoids, that adds up. And so that was a really nice spot by Jason, seeing that he can just drop those 3 tiles for a big score. And now Shan also sort of running out of options here. It's not much to be done.
I mean, do you? I mean, yeah, he's only up by 10 points. I think. I mean, is Oxbow? That is a word, right? I'm not making that
Oh
up.
yeah, no, yeah, that seems
I
clear
think.
actually.
I think you have to do that at the score. I mean, you hate to make that really easy 7 line
Hmm.
that would go over OW, but I don't see many other great options, and the score is very close. So you do really, I mean, you have to worry about bingos. You also have to worry about just being outrun.
Right. And yeah, there are some overlapping plays actually through the R of Fakir on the middle right of the board. So Brown could come down, for example, or Braun, or something of the like, retaining the X yet another time. And a suggestion of just dropping the X next to the O of core for 18 points. That's not terrible either. Sean has one of the last 2 remaining O's, and he can probably cash in his B and his W next turn if he does that. But I think I
Oh,
like Oxbow best out of all those options.
and also setting up a block for scorer, which is actually quite important um, uh, at this point in the game, because
Yeah.
it's right now you can't. Well, you could if you played through the C, um, but yeah, Ox could be really strong. So I guess Ox would be your typical equity play, and then you could play something like Brown through the Yarn for here if you just didn't want to mess with that at all.
Yeah, so that's again, I think the fact that the core play was so multifaceted. Not only did it set up words starting in O, starting in C, or having a C in the middle, it also set up that S hook that I even didn't spot until now. Scorer is available and is definitely a threat for the rest of the game. So I again, I'm doubling down on the idea that maybe you should play Oxbow here and just try and make it to a bingo first before Jason, or just try to keep the scoring pressure on until it's too late.
I think I like that idea a lot too. I mean, there's no. I mean, you could block the scorer hook this turn, but not for any. I don't think not for any reasonable amount of equity. So um, Oxbow does seem quite strong here. So just try and go for the bingo first. Um, so what was Jason's last play? How many tiles were played off?
I'm
You
3 tiles are
ALS.
played off. I'm
Okay, so three
choking on
tiles.
water. Sorry, sorry about that. Why are you panning to me? I'm like crying. I'm choking. No, Ryan, get away. Okay, hi. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm not dying. So
Wow.
Ox
Okay,
does
and he
come
plays
down.
it. He plays Ox. So Sean is really
Ryan
hoping
says,
that.
"Oh my gosh, sorry." Ryan said behind the scenes, "You deserve this." Oh man, what a guy! What a guy. Sorry. Go
Josh
ahead,
taking too
Josh.
many mustard shots.
Too many mustard
Um,
shots. Oh
but
no.
Ox going down. So Sean is um, quite. I guess he's really hoping that scorer that Jason doesn't make a bingo with scorer here, and if he doesn't, then he gets to complete the 1-2 punch, play anything really, making Oxo, and kill that scorer hook for good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jason is running very low on the clock. He's definitely going to go
Playing
overtime.
Claire, I
Yeah,
don't think
I
that's
don't
a
know that.
word.
I don't know that word either.
I'm fairly sure that's
Um,
not a word.
and I
Um,
think Sean is letting it go. Yeah,
hmm.
and the thing
But
about
I
that
mean,
play,
it's with 10 seconds left. It's just really difficult to try
but
and think
wait,
on the
like the
spot
thing
like that.
about that play of Claire's sets up Eclair, so
Oh
there could
wow!
be some poison here. There could be some situation where once again you see those C's. They're staring at each other on other ends of the board. Those C's are extremely useful tiles for creating spots to play. Basically, we call this forking the board, um, where you're making a play that ensures that you have a spot to go that cannot be blocked. Usually, it's two spots, but I'm going to claim that the play of Corer definitely forked the board, and the play of Claire setting up the e hook is a really good play, just because of how difficult it is without an E to make an eclair play. Well, you can't make an eclair play if you don't have an E. I'm totally botching this explanation, but basically, the fact of the matter is that C makes it very difficult to make short plays overlapping, and as a result, um, Jason might have a few turns to try and make his rack into a word ending in E to make eclair. So that's really interesting that Claire has come down. But yeah, it is a French word. It means clear, but I don't think it's a word. Yeah, no, it was defined in chat,
So would you
and it is
say
not.
I would think of Claire as more of like an unblockable setup as opposed to a board fork,
Yeah,
since it's only setting up one line, but there is another
yeah,
spot already open. I
yeah.
don't know what the.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. Yeah. Um, Honestly, a lot of the terminology we use is debated, is loose. People have slightly different ideas of what the terminology means, and yeah, I do understand that the term fork basically is supposed to designate two separate things happening, um, but it's all mathematical and angular and geometrical, as long as we understand what we're talking about. But yeah,
So
very
yeah.
interesting that that was not challenged. I mean, at certain points in the game, when scores are close and there's a lot of pressure, even trying to go for a challenge, worrying you're going to give your opponent 5 more points, um, could be very, very difficult to do, especially for a play that scores rather low, like in the 20s. Both of these players average around 30 points per turn. So a play like Claire that scores 23 points, that's not something that rings alarm bells. Like, okay, 23 points. I don't really care. So sometimes players decide it's not even worth looking at, or both players just think it's a word. I imagine Sean was not sure of the word, but didn't mind leaving it.
So it looks like Sean has Brown formed on his rack, probably looking to make that hit that OXO hook. And I think I'd probably slightly prefer something like bow, or really anything that doesn't give back the R. Because every extra tile that you're giving as a floater can be crucial, especially the R, such a common tile to start bingos with. Um, I think either, blocking that spot probably and playing there to score some points is the right idea, but I'd probably slightly prefer bow, I think, uh, in this case.
Well, what's interesting though, Josh, is that although you are immediately creating this opportunity, by playing Brown, to start with an R or a B, or even, I guess, no, the W doesn't quite fit. It makes it then easier the next turn to potentially make a play. Oh, he's switching it up. Oh, interesting.
So
And
do we
yeah, Sean's been
know?
taking a long time, but it makes it. I was to finish my point. It makes it a little bit easier to then make a play, blocking everything from that B or that R potentially.
Do we know how many tiles are left in the bag?
Yeah, it
Though,
would be good to know
because that
the
might that
unseen.
would have a huge impact
Oh,
on
there's
what's
actually only
played.
one tile in the bag, and the
Oh
tile in
wow,
the bag is a blank. Oh my goodness,
wow.
that
That
is
was, so that was quite unlucky for Jason not to hit it. For I guess four out of
yeah.
he had 4 out of 5
Oh
shots.
wow.
I think if my math is correct, to hit that and missed all of it.
That's
Um,
that's uh that's really unfortunate
so
because
as Noah
Claire
SL
should
points
have
out,
worked out a lot of the time, I guess.
yeah, yep. As
Although
Noah SL 44 points out,
even if he
oh yeah, go
had, I
ahead.
mean, if he drew both of the ends and the blank, he might also still not have had anything. I'm using too many qualifiers. Also still. Does that work? Is that English? Help me out, Josh. You're the English speaking Josh.
I
Also still.
I the
Is
meaning
that
was
like
clear, and I think that's the important thing, the intent.
ooh, I don't like Scrabble, says Go Sean Go. I think I know who that is. Wow, someone created that. Someone created that username on Twitch just to say "Go Sean Go." That's amazing. Welcome in. I don't like Scrabble. I hope you're having a great time on our stream. Oh man. But yeah, Sean is taking plays, but he's freaking out a little bit. Um, he's looking at Own. He's looking at Brown. He's not sure what to do. Like he's sort of struggling here because the blank is just unseen, and he goes with Bow, and yeah, that's I think gonna
Wow.
be it. Sean's gonna draw the blank. He's gonna be able to play all of his tiles, and even if he isn't gonna be able to play all of his tiles, I think he'll win pretty cleanly.
I mean, that was a
Um,
tough spot for Sean to, because I mean, in a lot of scenarios, Jason's just bingoing and he's just losing no matter what he plays, making Eclair, the B from Bo or the R from Brown or anything like that. So it was quite tough, and I'm
yeah, and
not sure what would be
Sean
best
just
there.
has one play left to make. He's just really trying to find a word that plays here. It would be good to have the exact score right now because it's possible if Sean isn't able to find a five-letter word in time, which he's able. Okay, he's able to find urban, fantastic. But both players were extremely low on time, especially Jason. But yeah, urban is the play by Sean, and he'll take the game. Wow. All right, it's tied 3-3. We're gonna have a game seven.
All right. Wow. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, really, really exciting.